Good morning. Monday morning, July 29th, 2013. Letter to God and the Universal Unitarian Church. Dear God, about 58 years ago, my mother went to Lourdes, France when she had bone cancer to pray for me. I was only 2 years old. I was told I would never walk or talk. She died when she came back a few days later on Good Friday. I started walking and talking about 6 weeks later or so. Was it a miracle, or was it my brain developing slowly because of my cerebral palsy and my brain damage at birth? I don't know. I do know that my mother had great faith, and it mostly is what I know about her. That's about it. My dad remarried Joy Murphy, the best mom in the universe. I felt guilty about loving her so much, but that's a different speech. My dad and mom never dwelled on my mother's journey, and it wasn't really talked much about. But it weighed heavily on me my whole life. Honor thy mother. How could I not, in her journey, when she knew she was dying and in such pain? In my late 20s, I met Reese. Now I'm only mentioning his first name, but I have known two Reeses in my life. One was gay and a paraplegic, and the other was kind of a tough guy, if you know what I mean. He was in his 50s and he worked out every day, and he had kids, and the youngest daughter was finishing high school. I met him at a grocery store, and I knew that he knew a lot about the human body because he sold pharmaceutical drugs to doctors and to pharmacies, and so he knew a lot about anatomy. He would exercise my body, and he would also align my spine. And sometimes I would cross my arms, and he would pull on them, and then I would pass out for a second, and then he would have me lay down on the floor and push on my spine and get it to crack and align. We used to go over to his house a lot, and I'd be watching tennis with him. And we used to watch John McEnroe back then. And John McEnroe was known as a brat. And Reese, at times, he'd be watching his TV and tennis, and he'd be smoking his pipe, and he could get intense. And then all of a sudden, he'd be watching TV and going like this with his hands and stuff while he's talking to me. And I say, "Are you trying to tell me something?" And he would say, "No." But he hung out with a lot of junks in the community and charge of programs in the community, and I thought of him as like an undercover cop or a mobster or maybe even someone who worked for the CIA. He would swear like crazy in front of his wife and daughter, say the F word all the time. And he would laugh when his dog Fritz would bite at my pant leg when he was trying to get me to walk. He took no shit from nobody. Once he got really upset at a bank because he was going to co-sign for a car for me, and there was a dispute on his income that he earned. When I first met Reese, he was driving a Cadillac. Then after a while, he got a Mercedes. He loved music, mostly jazz swing from the 30s and 40s. He said something once in front of his wife and daughter that scared me, and I won't repeat it because he's dead now and died of a heart attack. And sometimes talk is for losers and fools anyway, and one bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch anyway. He moved to Olympia, Washington, when he remarried, and we hadn't talked in quite a few years. I have met other intense people in my life, but I won't get into that today, except there was one other guy who I liked and feared, who I loved and feared, and he was more intense than Reese. But he also realized that people left me on my own a lot, and that I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders daily, and that people often took advantage of me because of my kindness. He was shot and killed at the coast 35 years ago. He was in his late 50s, and I was 23 when I met him. I was silent and shy until I joined the Universal Unitarian Church. They gave a shy, quiet person a voice. Many Christians believe there is only one interpretation of Jesus Christ. I believe there are many paths. Otherwise, God gave us the gift of life, and there would be no point in the gift of life if we were all the same, and if in the end we either ended up with God or not. That would not be a loving God, and there would really be no point to our existence. If man were God or created God, then I'd probably kill myself. Cerebral palsy, I have had pain almost every day of my life. And then you throw being gay into the mix. My church gave me a voice, but sorry to say, many of them really don't get it either quite often. But then again, how could they? They haven't lived my life. Many people claim to believe in God and Jesus Christ, but they are too busy dancing to really believe in them. Many agnostics and atheists I know claim to believe in God or love, but they are also too busy dancing. We join tribes or gangs or churches because deep down we are all afraid of the unknown. Sorry to say, we live in a time of darkness and great sadness. So, media and the powers that be, what am I to do? Yes, I am a child of God. I was told we all were children of God. Do you have cerebral palsy? Have you lived my life? Who do people like me believe in this day and age when people have a hard time believing in one another? Reese and this other guy taught me a lot about life and being bullied. In 7th and 8th grade, I was bullied a lot. And being bullied taught me about a lot about life and how people really can be in this life. So I'm signing off now today. Have a good day. Peace and love.